Hello, hello, hello. I don't know if I've actually started streaming yet or not. Not too sure. Let me just check on that. Still new to this, a bit of a novice. Let me just check on that. I am actually going to leave you with the fire for 2 seconds. Okay, so I'm live. Did you enjoy my fire? I hope you did. Let me just turn one thing down and then we'll get into it. How is everyone doing, by the way? Hope everyone is fine and hunky-dory. Myself, I'm okay. I can't see any of the chats at the moment. I'm sorting this out. Let me just get to this. Let me see what's going on. So I can actually see it here. Okay, excellent. So I can see it now. I can see the live chat. So, hello everyone. How you doing? Sorry about that sort of delay. Let me just... I can't see anybody sort of chatting, so I'm having to rely on anything else that's being said. I don't know who we've got in here at the moment. Whoever it is, how you doing? Lovely to sort of see you. I was just going to go through first of all, basically the monthly reading, the collective monthly reading, just so we can get a context of what's going on at the moment. Because I noticed in the weekly readings this week, Leslie, how you doing? Lovely to see you. I noticed in the weekly readings this week. And if you look at the monthly, let me just bring up the monthly reading. Here it is here on the left-hand side there, as you can well see. On week one and week one, week two was a bit sort of helping things across and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That whole idea of being guided across, and I think that's what's going on in the moment. I don't know if you felt the energy at the moment. It's been a lot going on in the sun. I haven't had time to do any updates on the Cymatic TV on the energy and stuff like that, but the energy that has been coming in has been obviously been a little bit up and down. It's a bit more sort of consistent as we've been having over the months before, and the last sort of like 2 or 3 weeks has been a little bit more consistent. But I think this is also brought about now, this situation where we are moving from one state to another. And once you look what's going on in the world at the moment, I think it's pretty clear to sort of see the sort of things that are going on that are not really getting traction, which is a good thing. When we look at some of the things that are going on, it's not really getting traction, which is good. And I think that's going to fizzle out. And it appears to me, and that's what, I'm getting off of this, is that whole sort of Six of Swords. Was it a Six of Swords? Let me just go back and see it so I can see it clearly on my thing. It was the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups was up there with the Page of Wands. And then on the other side, we had the Five of Wands and the Three of Wands, and that's the sort of stage we're going through at the moment. And it feels like that's sort of like been carrying through. We got another seven as well above it on the relationship side, which is that Seven of Pentacles and the Hangman, seeing things differently. And on the other side, we have yet again the Seven of Cups, but we also have a direction that we're taking through the material world. And I think this is what's going to be coming up from the sort of 17th, 18th. I think that's around that period. So for anyone who's seen their weekly readings this week, you may well understand that it's a transitional week. And it's almost as if like there's a bit of calm going on. And with that calm going on there, we've got this situation where we will be able to start seeing things differently next week, I think. and seeing things clearly by what us as a collective are doing in respect to nothing as being proposed. So because nothing's being proposed, it's there. It seems like we're being stimulated in multitudes of different ways in order to provoke the collective to go in a particular direction, and that's just not happening. And I think this is one of the biggest victories for common sense, which I keep going on about it. Maybe I should stop. I'm not sure, but yeah, keep going on about it. And I think you could see that in the weekly readings. It was there's a lot of mixed bags in the weekly readings, and there was a lot of tower moments. And I think tower moments have been about self-realization in a way, about our situation, about who we are and how we engage and stuff like that. That seems to have been the sort of like tower sort of thing that seems to be coming through in a lot of the readings for this week. I think air signs are coming off better than earth and water signs, to be honest. Sorry about all you Scorpios, and obviously all you Capricorns out there, you know. Yeah, I feel that air signs are coming. They can roll with it. They can roll with it a bit better, and I think this has to do with the solar activities. There has been quite a few filament energies, which is water, but it's been mainly sort of solar flares, which is more sort of in the line of fire and air. So if you look at your sign, your own personal sign, you just look at where you've got fire and air in your sign and see how that's stimulating certain aspects according to your weekly reading. So yeah, I think that's what the overall sort of energy has been coming off like that, really, more than anything else. It's that's the sort of thing that seems to be playing out this week, more than anything else. And this month, as we saw in the collective reading, it was sort of a game of two halves. And there was this big thing that seems to be, or there seems to be like a breakthrough moment which comes between, sort of like the 23rd, through to the end of December. So in the latter stages of December, there seems to be like a dawning moment, a realization, people getting into their rhythm and stuff like that. So I don't know how that, obviously I try and remember all the readings I do, but I can't remember all of them. And the moment I get into it's a bit like when I'm doing healing as well. It's once you're in that mode, I remember everything. But if I'm not in that mode, I do healings on people, and I don't take notes or anything like that, but I remember everything that I do within the healing session. And I'll meet, I had a stage in the area where I live in France. Well, I was going down the supermarkets, and it was quite difficult to do my shopping because people kept stopping me and sort of saying, no, I got this shoulder problem and stuff like that. And I had to keep going in and out of the frame. It's like a meditation in a way. It's going from one state of being to another state of being. It's really being sort of like interdimensional in a way. And but the moment I put back in that state, I can quite literally remember pretty much everything. It's because your memory is not there. It's not in your head. It's in your aura. That's where it's stored. Really. That's just a processor. It's not the hard drive. It's just the processor. And you have to put yourself into energetical sort of states, or even physical sort of states, or even, odor sort of states as well. That's a real trigger as well for memory. It's external states that actually, that's where we access the memory, as it were. Am I whittering on too much? I probably am. I do apologise. So this basically, today's live. I don't know how many people we got on board now. Let me just have a quick look. Oh, we seem to be picking up a few. So, hello everybody. Thank you, Leslie. Interesting, yeah. healing and energy is amazing. You know what I mean? It is I will be doing another channel on my healing, I think, at some point, because that's what I've been into, energy and looking at auras, observing people's auras, physically seeing auras makes life so much easier because you can see it. You point out what you see. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's incredibly interesting. It's incredibly interesting, and it's a beautiful experience to take part in. I think every single sort of time. So I will be doing a lot more on that sort of side of things, on the energies and stuff like that. Who else have we got? Is that Herent? Herent? I can't quite see. Tell you what, my eyes are really dropping. Denise, is it Denise? Gee whiz. Denise? My eyes, it's terrible, isn't it? But anyway, this is basically going to be about the monthly readings. And I was asking, so I was going to, because I thought it'd be quite nice that if people were getting, regular readings and what have you, that, you may have questions concerning some of the petals. And when I try and read obviously for what is flowing through the Astroflower and the sort of things that will sort of provoke. And I try and read in a way that not necessarily kind of going, you're going to be meeting this person at this point. I try and sort of say, I try and encourage people to put themselves in a condition where within their energy, how you confront the energy that is proposed for you at this present time. That's what I try and do. So it may be not specific enough for people who need, real questions. And obviously, sometimes we'll hit it on the money, and people will be really, really chuffed and resonating with them and everything like that, which is absolutely brilliant. But I was thinking that it'd be quite nice that we could do this quite regularly, where you can actually ask questions according to what happened on your monthly or your weekly readings and stuff like that, which I'm trying to get together for, so we can do it on a regular basis for the members, as it were. Who else have we got? We got Kathy on there. Hello, Kathy. How you doing? Lovely to see you. Yes. So basically, did you have any questions on your monthly readings, basically? Let me just sort of bring, I guess, I'm only guessing here, but I guess if I brought up Scorpio, let's just see, that was it. Scorpio, let's just bring up that. So, was there any particular sort of questions that you might that might pertain to sort of like any sort of like petals that you might have had, according to the cards that you had and stuff like that? Just taking in account sort of Scorpio, looked like a very, very vibrant reading. But then you had that Six of Swords and the Seven of Wands as well on the relationship side. There is also that twice you get the Four of Cups. And then you got the Seven of Pentacles, which was above it, and that ties in a little bit to the collective reading as well, and the ascension moment. And it was, it's like those 2 weeks there, that week between now and going right through to the 18th seems to be like a real sort of wait and see sort of transitional sort of scenario going on there. So, basically, I was just wondering if anybody had any sort of like clarifying questions. It can be, a personal sort of question as well. It's not a problem if you don't mind sharing with the family, as it were. But if you don't want to share with the family, maybe. We can do it in the future. We could do it on an email. We're not set up to do that as yet, but we might be able to do that in the coming future. So yeah, I was just wondering if you had any sort of situations that you might want me to pull some cards on to sort of see if there's any sort of clarifications you can get from any of the sort of like petals from the monthly reading, you know, because I just bring Scorpio back up there now. Yeah, Scorpio here. So there is a lot of Scorpios out there. I know Scorpios quite well, actually. I had a period in my life when I had loads and loads and loads and loads of Scorpios around me, and it appears like that's happening again. Yeah, on the Scorpio reading, there was certainly things going on the relationship side. I think more realizations more than anything else. And that realization seems to be happening during this week and the following, going slightly into the following week. And I think I saw that a little bit within your weekly readings this week here as well. And that's that whole thing about the sort of like, you know, you got the Ten of Swords down in week 1, you know, the Six of Swords in week 2, and then you got the 2 sevens as well that play onto it. But it is a transition from going from something that obviously within inside you is no longer needed, it no longer has its place, and then if you can get rid of that, then obviously that takes, you know, allows you to open up your space that is within you and your life, so then you can then go into that Two of Swords and that Three of Pentacles, which is at the top of the dial there. At this section here, I don't know if my pointer shows actually. Let me just see if my pointer shows. No, it doesn't show. But yeah, so the Two of Swords and the Two of Swords and the Three of Pentacles at the top of the dial. And this is all on your relationship side. It seems to be like that sort of choice coming in, and I think that's what that whole sort of thing is about. On the you know, the 25th, the 20th or the 25th, going right through to you know, the beginning of January, basically. But it is going to be an interesting year, and I think that's down to that Pluto connection as well. Let me just see, Leslie, what you're saying there. Very new to this, but Gemini reading. So you're a Gemini, are you, Leslie? Let's just bring up Gemini for you. There's Leo. There goes Gemini. So Gemini had the same sort of thing. You've got that 4. If you look on your relationship side, you've got that Tower on the financial side. Gemini's been really interesting, actually, and it's something I keep saying in Gemini. You know, seems to be something that's pulling at you to follow within the material world, and it's sometimes difficult to you know, follow that in a way blindly, and that's what it feels like it's getting to. And we saw a lot of that because you've got the Ten of Swords and the Ten of Wands and the Two of Swords on that side. That's for this sort of week at the moment. And on the right hand side, on your emotional sort of side, there is this victory, but then there's that Four of Pentacles that go along with it, and then you've got the Four of Pentacles that's coming in week 1, and the Nine of Wands. And I think that's what been leading you up to that sort of like transitional sort of phase. And this week here should have been working out that actually you've got a lot of passion going for you within your life as in regards to your relationships. And this doesn't necessarily have to be a one-to-one. It can well be. And I think there was a lot of one-to-one actually on the weekly reading. You might be able to correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed that sort of way that there was a glimpse of kind of like, actually, do you know what? I could really enjoy life if I just let go a little bit, sort of scenario. And that's when you really can find your victorious ways. And, you know, it seemed like in week 3, which is sort of overlaps the weekly reading from last week, from this week that just came through that's coming out tomorrow. Oh no, you wouldn't have seen it, would you? Tomorrow's reading. Actually, you got a really good reading, and I tell you what, this Tower moment, this Tower of the Three of Cups, those Ten of Wands and the Two of Swords, really comes to a head, I think, in next week, in a good way, in a good way. Yeah, in a good way, because I think it helps you to get into alignment with who you want to be, and this could be just a way in which you change your approach to work or change your approach to any projects that you're doing. Could even be sort of like to do with houses and stuff like that. Just slight change of approach and going after really what your sort of heart's all about. Then you should actually come out of it very, very sort of victorious in a way. So I think this has been overall for this month has been a little bit about that, of taking a good look inside and kind of sort of saying, what fits and what doesn't fit, really, more than anything else for us. But yeah, so I think in the sort of now through to midweek next week, there should be a realization that goes within you in regards to how you engage your relationships with other people that are around you, who count for you more than anything else. And then basically I think it comes into a question kind of going, okay, well, now I feel okay about that. How do I actually place my passions into the life? And I think that's what you're going to be distilling over the Christmas period. I think there was something like that. It seems to be like that. And you get the similar sort of thing that's going on your financial side or your material side. There seems to be a real floodgate moment more than anything else that sort of like helps you to sort of really engage with the material world in alignment with which you feel a lot better about, and it reinvigorates your happiness as well, and reinvigorates your passion for the material side of life. So it's a transitional period, I think, for a lot of people. Now, that ties into that whole sort of like, Pluto going through Capricorn, because us Capricorns, and I think I'm the only one here at the moment, us Capricorns have been really getting it for the last 12, 15 years. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out as it goes into Aquarius. And we're going into that time of Aquarius and everything like that. This is the time of Aquarius. Time of Aquarius. Oh, don't get me start singing. But I think that's going to be really interesting. And I think this is this is part and parcel of the realization as well. So, can you pull 3 cards on? I can pull 3 cards. I can pull any amount of cards you like. Sorry, I'm just getting the questions through. I can pull 3 cards on anything you want to ask about any of the signs or anything like that if you want. It's be an absolute pleasure. So did you want something pulled on Gemini? Is that what that was all about? Hubby Capricorn, is that right? Is that Bernice? Yeah, hubby Capricorn, is he? But lovely man, I should imagine. Lovely man, But yeah, did someone want me to pull some cards then? So I don't know if I was gonna, pull some cards on for particular. I could pull something on Gemini. Nice. Let me go back and see. I want to see Gemini again now. Well, this is on Gemini quickly, yeah. So we have that that sort of death and rebirth card over on the left-hand side, and you get that sort of Knight of Wands and the Knight of Wands and Knight of Pentacles as well. So getting on and doing the work, yeah. And I think that, what I'm getting here is there's been a lot of internal struggle for Gemini. And I think it's more internal than anything else. And now that internal struggle comes to an end, then you get onto the planning stage. And that's what you're really good at. I think this is where you really come into your own. And the moment you come into your own, that's when you start realizing, where you should be going, basically. The ultimate direction of where you should be going. And it's a realization, it's a spiritual path, I would say, more than anything else. More than anything else. It's a spiritual conquête. That's French, isn't it? It's spiritual sort of like, exploration more than anything else. So let's go back to Scorpio then. Let's pull some cards on Scorpio and see what's going on for you for this coming. If there's anything else we can get out of this, because there's a lot of good stuff actually. But then Scorpio, you've been on fire for 6 months. I think you've really been rocking and rolling. Things have been majorly changing in your lives over the last sort of 6 months. And this month here, I think, is almost as if you're getting like clear water for the first time. And that gives you space. And sometimes space can be a little bit daunting. And that's the sort of, there's a little bit of an edge of that. That's the sort of edge I'm getting on it for more than anything else that's coming out. And I think there's still one step for you to take. And I think this step here is concerning you more than anything else. Okay? Because you're not the gambling type usually, Scorpio. Although you could well be. You could well be. There's no problem against gambling. But, the first card that comes out for Scorpio is the Devil card. Now, you haven't actually got it in your reading here. But there is loads and loads of detail. That's the funny thing. There's 2 4 of Cups there, which is all about that sort of distilling and stuff like that. There's those 2 sevens as well, which is a realization. And I think this is all about sort of like, it could be realizing the finer details of life. So, just little things within your relationships that are around you that make you kind of go, oh yeah, that's okay. So these are these finer details that you can then start, really paying attention to and getting almost a little bit obsessive about it in a way, okay? But there is this condensing that we saw that was going on with the 4 of Cups into the 2 of Cups and stuff like that. And I think that's what plays out a little bit with the Page of Pentacles, because you're building. It seems like there's something new coming along here, certainly with the direction that you're taking, because you've got the King and Queen of Swords that you're on your karmic path, on your financial side, on the material side, and it seems to be in there more than anything else. There is obviously the exploration on your sort of the choices that you're going to be able to make with the space that you're going to be getting on your relationship as we come to the close of this month here, but on your financial side, it is learning about that sort of putting things into place. And this could be sort of like nurturing that sort of like that career path, or that starting that business, or getting that business going exactly in the direction that you should be going. Yeah. And then we come to this last thing that I think needs to be sort of clear within you. Because as we all go through life, and we kind of, I do loads of things. I do way too many things than I should do. Try way too many things really than I should do. I'm much better now at trying to keep my expectations down to realistic expectations, although that doesn't happen every single day. But I try and keep those expectations out. And I think this is what you need to be doing as well. This is why I think you get the Devil card here with all this sort of like transition, the direction you're taking and everything like that. It is all very hunky-dory for you. Very, very nice. But at the same time, at the back end of it, we get the 5 of Cups. We get the 5 of Cups and the 9 of Wands. Okay, so the Nine of Wands is great. Not, there's that one there. Nine of Wands is great because it's going off on the journey. You know, and those healthy boundaries are all about the sort of limits that you put into your life. And you should be put in a way that when you start doing it, if you're connected to your monkey mind, to the, you know, to your intuition sort of side, it will trigger something. And then you get the Five of Cups. Now, I think the Five of Cups is all about that letting go of something there, that past sort of thing going on. And then you can get those Two of Cups that go with it, which is, I think, mainly plays on your sort of like financial side more than anything else, because you get the Two of Cups on that side. But you've also got the Three of Cups that is on the general energy there. And this is why I think it's more of a case of an internal thing rather than you actually being disappointed with life. I think it's more sort of, it's almost like, it's almost as if it's sort of saying those healthy boundaries is a bit like, those healthy boundaries are to stop you from being disappointed in life. And if you get that within you, and if you can feel that within you, then there's no reason why that Three of Cups, you know, that whole sort of celebration and the connecting with other people and being it very joyous and everything like that will come into full fruition once you start distilling it within the Four of Cups and realizing it within that sort of Judgment card, which you get at the in week 3. You know, let me just see. It's Karma TV. Hello, Karma TV. How you doing? Radio, good evening. Good evening. Oh, yeah, good evening to you. I've just arrived. Have you? Well, welcome. Pull up a chair, grab a cup of tea. You know, coming out on my home situation. Cheers. I'd like to see so what cards come out on your home situation. Are you talking about sort of like on physical home here? Are you talking about you know, like moving house, or are you talking like your home as in sort of like your family or your, you know, your close relationships within that? I'm good. Season greetings. Oh yeah, season greetings to you too. Yeah, we haven't quite got to the solstice. I'm looking forward to the solstice readings, by the way, which is going to be a 3-month reading. I think there's a lot going to come out in that solstice reading from the 21st of December. It's certainly going to be a very fun-packed sort of fun-packed 3 months. Christmas period's going to be fun-packed because I've got the solstice readings, the yearly readings, got the December readings, obviously got the Happy Birthday Capricorn readings, you know, so it's going to be very interesting. Let's just see what. Okay, so you wanted some cards on your location, is that right? On your location in regards to your home and stuff like that. Blimey. Karma Control. Okay, Karma Control. Let's just see what we got here. Let me just bring it up so I can see what I'm doing here. You've got the Eight of Pentacles on the first thing out the door. I think. Have you actually seen the property you want to go to? Do you know exactly where you want to be going to? If that is the case, there seems like you've got work to do in order to get there. Concentrating on the smaller things, and that could literally just be sort of contracts, and you know, sort of rental contracts or purchasing contracts, whatever it is. You know, it seems like the concentrating on the finer details, because there is a new cycle coming up for you. And let me just bring up. Are you Scorpio, by the way? I just, you know, just to make sure of that. I can call you Ruby. Okay. Hi, Ruby. Yeah. So you've built it. You live here already. You built your place. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've renovated many houses. I love doing it. So you built this place. Okay, so it's maybe is it complete now and everything like that? Have you finished everything? Um, oh, you're Gemini, are you? Right. Sorry. Okay. Well, let me bring up Gemini again then, for you. There you go. Look at that. Um, do you know what? I have been speaking about movement in Gemini quite a bit recently. But yeah, anyway, getting back to your sort of situation, is it all completed? The house is complete and everything like that? There's nothing more left to do on it? If you're thinking about selling it, you're thinking about selling it, you're thinking about moving? Because if you're thinking about moving, maybe there's finer details you need to do, but there's certainly a new cycle that comes into it. And if you are looking at moving, look at that. You get the fortune, the wheel of fortune that starts sort of rolling in your favour, but then you also get the ten of Pentacles. I'll put it there like that so you can see it. Yeah. So it seems to be. Is it? I'm getting like a change of use. That's what I'm getting. My village people are very volatile. Village people tend to be. I don't know if you've ever seen the village people. There's a cop, there's a cowboy, there's they come from everywhere. So they tend to be very volatile. But yeah. So are you actually looking to be moving somewhere, basically? Is that what it is? Moving away from that place, or is there a change of use of that place? Whatever it is, it seems to be working towards something that a new cycle in your life in regards to that. In regards to your house. Is this there's no future here because of the people? Well, then that could well be that whole sort of, like, if you look at Gemini, you got that tower moment, and it could be that realization that, and if you see, you get the Three of Cups with it as well on your physical side of life. And that could well be that tower moment of actually realizing that this is not working for me, and that's maybe that choice you are making at the moment, which is with the Two of Swords and the Ten of Wands. And this is where you're working into a completely new cycle with the death and rebirth, but we also get that again here on that side. On your relationship side, and as I said earlier on, Gemini that's coming out tomorrow, is a very interesting reading. I love Geminis. I love Scorpio. I love all the signs, obviously. You know what I mean? Obviously Capricorn's the best, but no. But yeah, I've known a lot of Geminis in my life. I've had a lot of Geminis in my family as well. And, they all seem to be very lovely and upstanding people. But the problem with Gemini is that they don't put themselves first. And maybe that's what you should be doing here in regards to your village and the people that are around you. And this will create that new, fresh start for you. It'll invigorate you, give you a lot of sort of like, give you a lot of energy to sort of kind of going, yeah, I want more than this. I want better than this. And maybe it's a case of, maybe the little work that you've got to do in the prior is to actually find that community that corresponds to you more than anything else. And that, that you can feel happy with, that reflects you as well, or reflects your sort of values and stuff like that. Because this is going to be, in the coming future, it's going to be even more important to be around or in a situation that you feel comfortable with. And I'm talking over the next few years, by the way. I'm just going to open up the vents on my fire, get my fire going up a bit. You know, I think it seems like here that you're on the cusp of really going ahead and taking a bit of a leap of faith. You'll see that in your reading tomorrow, which comes out tomorrow for this coming week. Interesting reading. I'll be there. I'll be there when it goes live, so I can try and answer any, sort of questions concerning it. I hope that sort of answered your question. I'm actually dreaming to move to France in the future. You mentioned village people. Oh man, doesn't matter where you go in the world, you're going to find them. Yeah, France is an amazing country. I love France. The French people are interesting, very interesting. Love the French people. I don't actually feel like that I'm actually from one place, as it were. I feel much more sort of human than anything else. But I feel human more than anything else. I don't feel French, although I've lived a lot more in France now than I have in the UK. And I don't feel British in a way either. I just sort of like, I don't know, feel human. And, France is an amazing place. And it's full of lots of micro communities. And it's just choosing the community that sort of like corresponds with you, your outlook of life and what you're looking to be doing. Because it's as I say, it's an amazing place. Joseph, are we going to sing a song together, Joseph? Love your channel, man. Love your music. Listen to quite a bit of it, actually. It's really quite nice. Really lovely. Yes, we'll have to sing a song at some point if I ever get over it. You're in Australia, I think. If my memory serves me right, when I get out to Australia, we'll have to have a good sing-song around at a cafe or some sort of thing, or watering hole, as I believe you Australians call it. That'd be quite nice. Always have a good harmony with French people. Oh, well, if the French way of life, this goes to Rosa. If the French way of life is good for you, Rosie, is it Rosie or Rosa? Explore. That's all I can suggest, is explore, because there is so many different types of community depending on where you're living in France. Really, even within the Pyrenees, it's like there's multitudes of different sort of like for multitudes of different communities as you go down. Ruby, do apologise. Ruby, yes, remember that, Ruby. I'm hopeless with names, by the way. Yeah. So Joseph, you want some bars of me singing? Funny or most interesting song that comes to your head? I've been listening to all types of music at the moment, actually, Joseph. You know what I mean? Hang on, where's my guitar? Should I really, could I do that on YouTube, start playing guitar? Hang on a second, I'll have to go. Oh, it's in the other room, actually. Hang on a second, let me grab the other one. Let me see if I can grab that one. Although I'm not singing any songs. Not those. I don't even know if the guitar's in tune now. Blimey. Let me just see where I'm sitting down now. So hang on a second. Okay. I haven't actually got the words to this one. Okay, so are you ready? Just going to be just a cut the bar. It's not in tune. I'm feeling it's not in tune anyway. I'll sing you. I'll try and think of a song. The funniest song at the moment. I don't have any funny songs at the moment, actually. I guess Zippity Doodah, Zippity Day, the one that sort of comes out to mind really more than anything else. But It's not in tune. It doesn't feel like it's in tune. Anyway, so yeah, no, Joseph, we'll have to do that together at some point. I will come over and we'll, in Australia or if you're over in the UK, and we'll make a point of maybe playing a song together, trying to work it out. That would be quite funny. Put that on the Astroflower. We'll sing a reading for them. We'll sing a reading for everybody. That would be great for the family. That would be quite funny. So yeah. Yeah, what songs? I don't know. I've had that song that's I keep listening to at the moment. It's actually Don Williams' song, but I've been listening to it by Eric Clapton, and it's I've forgotten what it is now. All the Way, basically, and I can't think of the words. It's escaping me. Obviously, I'm not supposed to be singing. Yeah, but yeah, no, Joseph, love to, mate, love to. You do some beautiful songs. You should put a link onto your Instagram thing so people can at least see it. See you singing on there. Be absolutely brilliant. I'm sure people will absolutely love it. I'll do a musical karaoke sing along with Tom sort of channel. If not, So yes, getting back to what we were supposed to be talking about, Joseph, you took me right off on a complete and utter bender there. Make me stay. I'm now starting to get it. We'll live you all the way. I'd have to listen to it to get me in the mood, to get me going. But anyway. Yeah, make sure you just put a link to your Instagram, Joseph, man. You do some lovely stuff. Just get out there and do it. Music be the food of love. If you want to enact love, allow music to be figure somewhere in your life. I think that's really important. So yeah. Is there any other? Have you got any other sort of like questions on the monthly and stuff like that? Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull some stuff. I'm going to go for the other. No, I'm not going to stay with these cards. I'll stay with these puppies. I'm going to pull something on what's coming up in the later stages of Christmas and New Year. So I just want to bring up that collective, because that's really been. I've been interested in that. Hang on a second. There it is. Let me just bring up the collective. There it is. There. Okay. And and it's this sort of like transition, that this sort of like seeing things differently, taking a decision of making on the material side, taking a direction and everything like that. And there seems to be then we've got the Ace of Pentacles and that Page of Cups with the Six of Cups and the Queen of Cups on that sort of side. So it's emotionally driven, but it's triggered by something that's very physical. The cards are just jumping all over the place as I'm trying to sort of like read that. Let me just pick that up. It's like that. Okay. So let's just see if we can pick out some sort of event on that. With my own spider sense, as it were. I don't know if you've seen on Cymatic TV. I didn't do a video on it because I've been just so sort of snowed under with various other things, a bit of administration in France and stuff like that. But there was quite a few flares that sort of came in the direction of the Earth, and anyone who's read the event that I wrote with Tanya, Tanya and I wrote, it's about a three level whammy hit on the Earth. It seemed like that sort of thing was coming back, or that sort of thing was turning up, and it was very interesting to sort of see that sort of energy coming through. And that was like sort of like 10 days ago now, roughly around about that. But those sunspots are going to be coming back round during that period there. And I think there's almost like it could be it could be have something to do with the COP28 and stuff like that. There seems to be that sort of thing. Maybe it is something to do with the environment, but not necessarily directly with the environment. That was, but it's, oh, blimey, O'Reilly. Excuse me, I do apologise about that. You know, there is something new that's coming up, a new cycle, and I think this ties into seeing things differently on how we engage with one another in regards to relationships, and rather than being hyperbolic and extreme emotionally driven, I think it's going to be a lot more practical, and this is where we get the victory from the common sense, as it were. And that's what I think this whole new cycle is, what is coming up in that sort of December period. And that could be to do with realizing how this planet works in an energetic sense, which then evolves into how it works in a climate sort of sense, but also sort of like with earthquakes and everything like that. And I think we're going to realize that it's a little bit more complex than just one thing. And I think this is actually going to come to the surface. And I think it's a good thing, just because it's much better if we see everything very clearly. And I've got to, the way a solar system is created is not necessarily how you've been told, like the center of the earth, molten iron cannot maintain a magnetic field, so it would be very difficult for the earth to actually contain a magnetic field. And I think this is something that comes through that changes that sort of thinking, or changes that sort of ideals. And we have here we have that Six of Pentacles, but then the card that came out after it was the Six of Swords. And I think this is the realization of putting life first. I think more than anything else, life first, and how we key into nature, because we're part of it. I think that's what could well be that realization that comes over that Christmas period. And then we get this moment of, at the same time, because it's like a child, isn't it? With my kids, until you tell them, you can't really tell them off, So, education is key and what have you. So, and I would say to my kids, if you do this, this is going to be the result, and it's probably not desired by you and not desired for us, and it's not a good thing, and if you're going to keep doing that, then obviously the collective will, or the family will turn around and sort of kind of go, look, this doesn't work for us as a family. So, but then once the person knows, then you can sort of say, what you're doing, sort of scenario. And I think this is where the realization that sort of comes through there comes through with a period of grace, as they say in French, where we have a period where we're learning to actually figure that within ourselves. And I think that's what that realization and that sort of gift is, with the Ace of Pentacles on the collective and the Page of Cups on the collective. And then the final card we get out of it is the Knight of Pentacles, and it is getting down to doing that sort of work. We've also had the Six of Cups up there as well, and it's realizing of, taking the good things from the past and bringing it into our future. I think that's really, really important as well. And I think this thing that comes through in between, we're talking between the 23rd and the end of December. I think it's it's almost like a realization, a conceptual realization, within the collective, just kind of going, all right, so that's how it works, right? Okay, so it's not exactly what we thought, so we need to adjust to that, and there is that time of adjustment, and then I think this is when the common sense or the logical revolution takes hold, and we can really start putting into action steps that we need to do in order to make this planet part of something which is bigger, which we call the solar system, and then actually making that solar system part of the universal system, and becoming and standing up and becoming, a species that is honourable to believe in the whole grand scheme of things, and that could open a lot more doors on technology of the way we do things, and that could make our evolutionary process much safer and maybe a lot quicker as well. So which will help us then to work into the environment and stuff like that. And I think that's the sort of thing, that's the sort of feeling I'm getting that's coming through from the from that sort of like period between the 23rd to the 30th of December. Okay, I'm just catching up with a few messages there. Greetings, hello, greetings. Is that from Willie John? How you doing? Lovely to see you. Soul, how you doing? Hi, like a 6 new subscriber. Well, lovely. Welcome to the family. If you've got any questions, more than welcome. Route 66. Oh yeah, that'd be good. Joseph, that'd be lovely. Very positive. Yes, Joseph. Yes, singing. It's all positive. So yeah, I think that's the sort of thing that's going to be coming through in at the end of December. So it'd be good to see the January readings as well, to see how it comes out really quite quick on that, and also for the the solstice readings as well. But I think this December here is going to be a bit of an eye opener as we go forward for the future, and I think it's going to play into a lot of people's readings, and I've certainly seen it this week. In the readings, it hasn't been the usual sort of readings, to be honest, and I think this is a lot to do with self-realizations more than anything else. Did anyone else have any sort of questions, any sort of clarification, personal sort of questions on regarding on any sort of particular signs, from anything that you had in the monthly readings and what have you? I could go through them all quite quickly. That'd be quite interesting to see. So, here we go with Aries. There's Aries there. So, there is a lot going on, but there is this all sort of like this transitional stuff going on. There's this leap of faith for Aries as well, coming out of that Four of Swords. And it comes on to a realization at the top with sort of like the Hangman at the top. That's the Hangman at the top with the Devil card as well. And there seems to be a lot of those sort of things going on. And once you look on the on the financial side, there's that Page of Pentacles again with the Two of Wands, which is all about learning and transition, but it is also about taking a direction for Aries. So it's very, very similar on for a lot of people. Hang on a second. There's Taurus. How you doing, Tauruses? All of you Tauruses out there. Taurus looks like the most consistent one out of the whole lot, to be honest. There's definite movement in around about Christmas, which goes further, takes you on from being stuck, or or from your calculations that you've had to be doing in the first week and the second week and also in the third week, because you got the Eight of Pentacles with the Five of Wands, as well. I'm also, okay, so we've got a question in from Ruby. Got it. I'm also a reader and a medium. Excellent. Okay. And the next couple of months are very mysterious. Yeah, there seems to be a veil over everything, doesn't there? You know, is anyone feeling that? Thank you, Willie, man. That's absolutely lovely. Very much appreciated, my friend. Thank you very much. Yeah, there seems to be a veil. There seems to be, the moon came out a lot, which is a Scorpio card. And you know, Scorpios are very, very interesting signs. It's like Scorpio and Libra were created out of Sagittarius and Virgo because before we only had 10 months. You know, we had December, November, December being 10, November being 9, October being the 8th month, September being 7, SEPT is 7. And so, you know, with Scorpio and you know, Libra is those scales, yeah. But also Scorpio in old sort of text meant that it was the old way of calling the scales, which used to weigh up things, and it seems to be. This is why it could be playing a lot more into that sort of air sort of energy. There seems to be a lot of that going on where it is very mysterious in those sort of next sort of like couple of months and stuff like that. So let me just finish off reading that. It's mysterious so much that I don't read into it. Yeah. So when there's some practical self discipline. Yeah, I think this is getting in alignment with yourself. You know, yeah, I think, you know, being in alignment. This is where common sense comes from, though, isn't it? You know, if it is a common sense, it's because you come to that conclusion as individuals. Individually, we come to that conclusion individually, and then that's what gives us the common sense. So I think it's common sense that, you know, to end somebody else's life is not a good idea. I mean, it's like, it's so obvious. So, you know, it's, and I think, yeah, so it's being in alignment with yourself so you can come up with the, what is common sense for you. And I think that's what's going to come out of it more than anything else. I think there's going to be major movements over the next 2-3 years. And movements and this could be through the, you know, the governing system, through political systems and stuff like that, but also the way we do money, the way we produce, manufacture, distribute, all of those sort of things, I think is really coming into sort of play. Iris, lovely to see you. Yeah, you made it. Welcome. You on your lunch break or something? You know, this is what's coming out for the next sort of 2 or 3 years for me. It's really getting into alignment, marrying the common sense with our individual common sense. This is what comes up with the Two of Wands here, with the other Two of Wands, which makes up the Four of Wands, obviously. And it makes for that sort of common sense. So you get one side, and then these are the, you know, the two coming together, and that's the other side. So it's your planning, how you plan it, and then how you engage that planning with other people that are around you. Have a million questions, do you, Joseph? We'll start with the first one. You're making dinner, Iris. Good on you. Always good to make dinner. It's lovely. Yeah. I'm on tea at the moment, so. Start with a simple question, Joseph, to start with, my friend. You know, and that should sort of come out. But yeah, I think this is the start of. I've been, you know, as I say, I've been banging on about the you know, the logical revolution for some time, and you know, and I feel that this is where, we're now getting to a stage where we've streamlined a lot of stuff within us as individuals. I don't know if you've been going through it, but I feel like everybody's been going through the ringer. And you know, and if we haven't confronted it totally right, then it's you know, we have to go back round and reconfront it. And I'll tell you what, as Capricorn, we've been you know, I've been really we've been going through that ringer for some time. So and I think that's what we're finally coming through, and we're now coming to a stage where we can start enacting that sort of common sense as we go forward, more than anything else, you know. And it is a whole new cycle coming from that Four of Wands. It is a whole new cycle, and this ties into that beautiful bit about Pluto going into Gemini, you know, with the age of Aquarius. You know, and that's when you can let the sun shine in. You know, you can really let the sun shine in, because it is going to be a whole new cycle. And I think this is where I think we almost become free to explore a lot more, because we have those common sense that we don't have to worry about other people, because they also have the common sense that we have, that actually we're all on the same planet together, and we might as well, you know, the more we can enjoy, the best we'll be. You know, spiritual way, yeah, Iris, definitely the spiritual way, totally. I'm glad that Tanya's agreeing. So yeah, and it does come out of it, and I think this is where we go from that disappointment. I think the disappointment here is definitely a disappointment of the past, and we get into this whole new sort of like a new way. It's a new grail, basically. It's a new chalice. It's like a holy grail that is within each and every single one of us, that we need to fulfill with our own emotions. And once we do, we can really let go of all that sort of like that, those Three of Cups that are sort of like wasting away from the past, so we can allow us to add our cup to another. And that's where we come back to the Four of Wands as well, when we add our emotional fulfillment, but not just emotional fulfillment, but it's also sort of like an energetic fulfillment, almost like it's physical as well. It's like encompasses everything that we can put into it, in a way that, you know, we feel that connection with other people's cups, and therefore we can really really start building something together, which would be really, really nice. Really beautiful. And I think that's what sort of comes out over that whole sort of like moving from Capricorn, or moving from Pisces into Aquarius, you know, because I don't know if I've ever told you this. I might have told you this. I might be going off topic here, and you might have to tell me off, but you know, Pisces is all to do with JC, in a way. Not just JC, but to do with JC. And, you know, and then moving from JC and into Aquarius is like going into, you know, John the Baptist. Because he is the water bearer. He is the one who is supposedly, you know, sort of baptizes everything, you know, and everyone and what have you, which is exactly what the Aquarius does. It allows you to open up and clear the slate and approach things in a very nice way. And JC was all about the Pisces. It's all about the emotional sort of side of life. Which we saw in various other sort of like spiritual sort of leaders as well. But you know, and you know, when you look at the story, so for example, the story of the two fishes and the 5 loaves, you know, the sign opposite Pisces is Virgo, which is, you know, like the Virgin Mary in a way, and she's carrying 5 sheaves of wheat. That's what the 5 bread are all about. And the 2 fish is Pisces. And JC said, you know, I will be with you to the end of this age. not to the end of time, to the end of this age, and the age of Pisces going into Aquarius, and that's where we're going at the moment, is all about that transition from the emotional recognition and exploration of life into much more sort of, okay, let's wash this down and let's see what golden nuggets we do have out of all of this sort of situation. And once we do that, that's when we can start applying it and exploring the creation of who we are individually and collectively. And that's what seems to be sort of coming through. Yeah, I've read that somewhere. Have you? Jolly good. Is that read that something about JC being Pisces and everything like that? Yeah. Well, you know, when Moses came down from Mount Sinai, you know, he was upset because everyone was still praying to the golden bull, Taurus, and he is, you know, Moses was, you know, in Aries time, in Ramesses. He was the time of Ramesses as well, where, you know, he was sort of saying that it's the end of Taurus. We're now moving from Taurus and we're going into Aries. You know, and then from Aries into Pisces, and now Pisces into Aquarius. And then we just got another 2,100 years and we'll be into Capricorn. Woo! So it's that whole sort of transitional period that goes through all of that. And we can see that in the energy as well, in the universal energy, because Aquarius is that moment of where the solar system is going from one side to another. You want some? So Denise, you want some cards on? Okay, so very interesting. I was picking up on the. Hang on a second. The communion. Oh yeah, ritual with that of cups and yeah. Okay, so yeah, yeah. I've had an interesting life. And I've met many spiritual beings. I'll save that for a video another day, actually. I'll save that for a video for another day. Denise, you wanted some readings on Virgo. Let me bring up Virgo. Where is you, Virgo? There you are, Virgo. Yeah, you got the Ten of Swords as well down at your thing. You've also got the Tower moment as well, which is also in this week. This is going into this week here. You've also got the Ten of Swords twice actually in your reading, and you've got the Ten of Wands on the bottom left. But that's the beginning of the month, and I think it has been a bit of a tricky couple of weeks in the readings of Virgo, if I'm not that far mistaken. But once you start getting out of that and you start moving into the third week and going into the fourth week, everything seems to take shape. It's almost as if like the changing zeitgeist or the changing vibration that is around us in the world fits you better, in a way. That's what it seems like from there. You know. May I ask a question? Yes, you can ask a question. I'm not sure if there's a queue going on. No, there's no queue. Just jump straight in there, Iris. If you've got a question, just jump straight in there. Yeah. Let's just see what we got on Virgo for you, Denise. Have you got anything, sort of, any questions in particular? Because it could be about this sort of mission that you're going on. And you're Sagittarius, are you, Willie? Okay, I'll have a Sagittarius been having a hard time over this last year, I think. I don't know how it's been going for you, Willie. I hope it's been going for you. Going well for you. But Sagittarius, I think, has been having a hard time. But let's just see what's going on for Virgo. Well, I think it just comes out of this. I can't leave that one now. I need to know what that's more about. Okay. As I said, in your bottom part of your reading, as you can see on I think it's already, let me just check. Yeah, it is on the left-hand side. On the left, on that side. That side, yeah. on that side, you'll see Virgo. So you've got that Ten of Swords down the bottom with the Nine of Cups, which is really nice. And on your relationship side, you've got the Four of Pentacles, which I think somebody else had. We were talking about that earlier on. And the Star card, which is also, it's very contradictory. So there's something that's been churning around that needs to be sorted out, basically, at the moment. Then you've got the Ten of Swords with the Hierophant. Love the Hierophant card. Playing out on that side. And then you get the Ace of Swords with the Ten of Wands. There is a lot of contradictory stuff going on. But as you come through that, you've got the Sun and the Ten of Pentacles on the left-hand side. I think it's a very exciting time for you, materialistically speaking, with projects and stuff like that. But also, I think it feeds into your relationship side as well. And I think this is going to, I actually think that's going to be, it might be for you a little bit more important, because you get the Knight of Swords going on there. And you've already got that in your third week. And this is where you get the World card on the left-hand side with the Three of Pentacles as well. I think this is basically, it feels like, for me, is like Virgo is almost as like they've finished a chapter and they're turning a chapter. That's the sort of feeling I get from. And like that you're walking away, obviously you're walking away from something, but you're walking away, you're walking towards about, and this is where your mission comes into it. It seems like there's, there's something that you've been curious about for some time, and now you're going on a mission to understand it and find it. And that is freeing you up from all of that. Freeing you up from a situation with just desserts that come along with it. And I think it brings you into a place of a lot more sort of harmony and easy going and enjoyment, really, more than anything else for that, Denise. Sorry, I called you Dennis there. I do apologise. Denise. Yeah. So, it's a mission. Yes, on a mission for sure. Okay, good. I think you should go on this mission, and I think you seem to have been, and you tell me if I'm getting it wrong, but you seem to be asking a question about one particular person that you've been observing that may be in your circle of friends, but there's not exactly the person that's the most closest to you and stuff like that. Or it could be within your circle, within your financial world, but I think it's more within your sort of friends, and it's whether I should go on it. Yeah, I'd explore your curiosity side of it all if I was you, and just start opening that door for that sort of side, because it is going to bring you to a place where you're going to feel a lot more at ease with your everyday life, which will allow you to open up a lot more sort of things going forward on that. Does that sort of like play true for you? Okay. It just seems that way, and if I, I'd go for it. What have you got to lose? What have you got to lose? It seems like it's very much within your sort of way, as it were. Okay, there's another one. So Iris, you come from. Okay, so Iris. So let me just see this. A big shout out to Tanya for all the help she gives us on this channel. Well, not help. She's the major part of it. It's absolutely lovely. Thank you very much, Tanya. Okay, so I was Scorpio, feeling anxious about work and moving up the ladder, insights in career and finances. So that's on Scorpio. That's all right, Denise. Was that about spot on for you, by the way? It just seemed that way to me. Is that spot on for you? Was that spot on for you? I hope so. Let's just bring up Scorpio on that. There you are, Scorpio. Just so we can have a quick reminder on your sort of career path. Yeah, I think you've got to, Iris, I think you've got to, if you really want to go for it, I think there's certain things within your career that you may be spending time on that's not really, although it's good, I don't think it's helping you to get, up the ladder, as it were, or get to the job that you so want to be doing. And I think this is where a little bit of distillation of, according to, the more vibrant you can be within your workspace, the easier it will be for you to advance, more than anything else. Let me just see what's going on. Yeah, look at that. You can't see it as yet, my word. Whatever it is, Iris, whatever it is very good, I think. Very good indeed. It's not. Yeah, it depends on that. Okay, so you're not going to believe what's just come out, Iris, for you. Okay, so you got the Three of Cups to start with, and this is what I'm talking about, sort of like enjoying and in having that sort of fun and everything like that, and being positive. And it's when it's good fun for you, that's when it's going to become a lot more sort of vibrant and everything like that. And then you get the Two of Cups. You can't really get much better, really, but it does in a way. And within this, and then once you start getting in the flow of that, if you really want to push your career, you do need to get involved networking wise, by the sounds of it, by the looks of it, and being very joyous in your network, as it were. Enjoying it. And December's going to be a good time for that, because obviously there's loads of Christmas parties and stuff like that. So maybe that's a good thing for you to be doing there at the moment. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Where's that? Sorry, just having a look at the message that just came through. I will be getting back to that, Joseph. I have seen you've been asking questions, and I will be there in 2 seconds. Yeah. And then once you get into that flow, then all of a sudden you're up to the Seven of Cups, and this is that whole sort of thing where I think you've got lots of options here, but there's actually one option that's going to be really perfect for you and sits perfectly for you. And in order to get it, you've got to do that Four of Cups distillation sort of stuff that I was talking about, and seeing things in a different way, and seeing your network as a joyous thing, a joyous part of your work more than anything else. I think does it come out well for you in your career path? Yeah, I think it does. Looking at the rest of your reading for the rest of the month, I think it does come out really well for you. The thing is just you being in alignment with you and enjoying that part of it, with it all. I think more than anything else. So, is that good for you, Iris? Does that sort of like give you a bit of does that give you a bit of a heads up on your career path? I think you're you're either going for the job that sort of corresponds to you, the company that corresponds to you, or you're in that company that really corresponds to you at the moment. But it's just make sure you're enjoying it more than anything else, that it sits right for you, and when you do, I think that's when it's going to fly. And it's going to be a lot easier for you to take strides forward in your area that you're going on. Okay, there's another question that came in for Joseph. It's about a question about, it came in on this. I'll be with you as well, Willie, in a minute. Okay, so when fear comes or illusion known as fear, it can seem like a perception of love becomes obscured. Can you give advice on how to move through fear? Well, I can, Joseph, my friend. I can, very simply. You're Scorpio, aren't you, Joseph? If I remember rightly, so you've got this Scorpio that's going on there. Emotions have their counterparts, as far as I can see, within energy and stuff like that. So basically, love and hate is actually has the same vibrational signature. I know it sounds weird, but it has the same vibrational signature. It's just one is opposite or upside down to the other. So if you take the DNA of lemons and the DNA of oranges, I think that's the two there. Their DNA is exactly the same, but you've got to read them in the opposite way. And that's a bit like fear. So your fear is building your courage to do it. And once you do it first time, it's like, when you go on stage, Joseph, you obviously get that butterfly sensation in your stomach, that sort of thing. And then once you kick in, that's when you remember, actually, I know how to perform on stage. It's great fun and I really enjoy it. And that's when the enjoyment then sort of kicks in. And that's when you can then grow on that confidence. Once you start doing one thing and you do it once, then you've got the confidence to do it again. So your fear, in a way, is you shouldn't ignore it, I don't think at all. I think you should look it squarely in the eyes and kind of going, yeah, I'm worried about that and I'm worried about that. Therefore, I'm going to still do it and just be attentive to that, that I don't get involved in that on the way through. And that fear should sort of provoke a lot of courage within your solar plexus so you can then just get on and do it more than anything else. Opening up my fire a little bit more because you can just about see it behind me there, but it is getting a little bit nippier. So yeah, I think fear is a very good thing. It can help you in loads of different ways, but at the same time, love is a much more sort of universal sort of thing. Fear is a very individual sort of thing. This is why I talked about love and hate rather than anything else. But if you allow your fear to take control, what will happen there is you will move from I'm going to call you John, by the way, Willie. It's not Willie, is it? What was it? I just had a message come through and it's not that. I'm reading it wrongly. That's my eyesight. It's Wilfie. My eyesight. Wilfie, I'm so sorry, my friends. Who's that country and western singer? Joseph, you'll know. Willie Nelson. I had him in my brain. But anyway, that whole sort of fear thing is, if you allow it to take control, basically it reduces your solar plexus. So then your solar plexus can no longer deal with it as a situation. And then it will just transport it straight up to your monkey mind, the logic side, and that's when we get those sort of anxiety side of things that come through, and it happens to everyone. It's not like a major problem. It's just realizing that most of the things, if you realize most of the things should be dealt with in the body, and then eventually goes to the mind, and then the mind kind of goes, okay, the stomach says that, the solar plexus says that, the heart says that, logically I should be doing that. The moment you take that sort of approach to it, of really listening to that, I think you'll realise that actually love will win out every single time, more than anything else. It's just do it. Yeah, courage, just do it. Once you do it, once you just do it, you'll have the confidence to redo it again. Wilfie, John, it's all good, man. Good, excellent. I'm glad it's all good. So you had a question, Iris. So you had a question about your career path on Sagittarius. Let's bring up Sagittarius. And let's see what's going on with you, Sagittarius. There's Capricorn. There's Sagittarius. Concentrating on the things that's working for you. I think you're coming out of a tricky period. As I say, I think you've come out of coming out of a tricky period that has been over the last year, and it's sometimes been a little bit indecisive in life, and I think that has affected your career path more than anything else. See you later, Ruby. Have a good one. Enjoy. Yeah, so I think it's been affecting your career path, and I think it's actually concentrating on the things that really sort of like bring the results for you more than anything else. Do you have a business, John, or is it like is it a business, or do you actually work for someone, or is it a career path you're going on and stuff like that? What is what's that sort of thing? Is it like a project sort of thing that you should be going into? Is that the sort of thing? So I think I just had a card that flipped over. No, I didn't. Is it like that? Is it like a project sort of thing? It's funny, on that. This is quite mad actually for you, John, Wolfie. On your career path here, I think you need to explore your hang on a second. I'm an artist. This is it. Yeah. See, I didn't get it like a business or a project, a business or thing. It's more sort of like a project, and that could well be your project thing of being that artist. I gave up being a builder to focus fully on my craft. Excellent. What is your craft? Is it something to do with sort of music or painting or acting? That sort of thing. What sort of artistry is it? I think your curiosity is going to be your key here if you're going into that. If it is to do with paintings or art in that sort of respect, or sort of like photography or something that sort of respect, I think you need to allow your curiosity to open up to different ways in which you present it. The funny thing is if you look at the if you look on the bottom left-hand side on the first week, you see that eight of cups which you have down there going towards the 10 of cups. Yeah, but it goes through that whole process of seeing what actually works and how it's going to produce stuff for you in the going future. And I think maybe you getting a glimpse of that this coming week, and it's helping you to let go of something, that 5 of Pentacles and that 10 of Swords is like, I'm no longer going to focus on my weak side. So, what do you do again, John? Sorry. I've been painting for 4 years, and but I live by creative all my life. Okay, so I think it's in a way in which you present you do your art, or you do your paintings, and it's something like the way in which you present it. In a way, it's almost as if like, I'm going to take something really stupid here because I can't paint for toffee. I'm very good at photographs, but not for that. It's like you've gone from a square canvas to a triangle canvas. It's something a little bit of long. It's like you're going from sort of like natural the combination between natural form and geometric forms. If you know what I mean, it's a different sort of approach, and allowing your curiosity to go in, to explore that sort of avenue. And once you do start doing that, that's when I think, if you're very realistic with yourself and don't, and Sagittarius tends to be quite realistic within the material world, You're going to move from that whole sort of disappointment that you might have had over the past few years and maybe not earning as much as you want or not getting the recognition that you want. But because you're exploring your sort of like your curiosity, which will come out in that Two of Cups, which I think we see at the end, at the top of the dial, in the fourth week, where we get the Well card. You get the Well card with the Eight of Wands, which is all about you're now getting the information about, and this is maybe how the world sort of also, a little bit like Virgo, sort of like presents itself to you in a way that is actually in alignment with you, and it makes things a lot easier. So you go from that whole sort of disappointment, which ties into the Five of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords, and you come up with the Well card again. So we've started from the Eight of Cups and we've gone on to the Well card after that. You'll be starting, it's almost like starting over again. But then you get the Four of Cups, which is that whole process of distilling those Three of Cups there, which is what you've gotten rid of on that Five of Cups. And that's, you look at the Five of Cups, you get that on your overall energy there. And it's playing smart, which comes along with it. And I think this curiosity is going to help you to play smart. And that's going to help you to distill those 5 cups into that 1 cup there that really corresponds to you and helps you to sort of take your art to a completely different level. Rather than just trying to provide art. I don't think you do that anyway. I don't think you probably do that to provide art for what people want. But, I think you should provide it through your own curiosity more than anything else. So there you go, Wilfie. Is it John? Yeah. So, yeah, there you go. I hope that sort of helped you out. I've got another question that's come through from Queen Bee. Okay, so I'm a Scorpio, having issues with co-workers. I'm never months now feeling a little down about it. And, one second. Down about it. I want to do something to help people, but not able to make that change. That is the difficult part of for Scorpio. Queen Bee. What's your name, Queen Bee? I can keep calling you Queen Bee. It's not that I don't mind. Thank you, John. John is good, always is good. So Queen Bee, making that leap can be quite difficult. Certainly for Scorpio. I think Scorpio has that sort of that almost sort of like paralysis analysis sort of scenario situation. Sometimes it's a little bit like that. Sometimes it's like Capricorn is a little bit like that, as a way that the Capricorn sometimes will prefer to lose rather than actually take the risk, but it's sometimes like that in Scorpio. You get that sort of thing within Scorpio. First things first, there's a couple of things within your question there that probably needs addressing straight away. First things first, don't try and save the world. It's really important. Through my healing school, it was one of the main things I had to sort of help people to understand, because I don't, although I teach a lot within my workshops and teach people to do healing and stuff like that, but I help people to learn more than anything else. So, and it's learning about yourself, knowing all your limits. The more you know about yourself, the more you can help people. It is good to help people. I'm not saying don't help people. Do help people. You know what I mean? It's lovely. It's one of the most rewarding things in the world. But, just realise the limits of what everybody can do. Any individual can do. I can't save the world. You can't save the world. But we can. And that we can only exist if you are exploring what you really enjoy doing. And I would, if I was you, and I wouldn't let go of that. you know, it will need a bit of a leap of faith in order for you to sort of to do it. And in regards to sort of like in regards to sort of like individuals and people that are around you, and this is where you get that sort of analysis paralysis sort of scenario, is the other thing which I teach people in the healing thing is that, and this sounds really horrible actually when I say it in English, but you shouldn't really care what people think. You should really, in French I'd say, tu besoin une bonne dose de rien à foutre. So it's like you need a good dose of don't give a shit. Because you've got to be detached. In order to help somebody, you've really got to be detached. And if you've got work colleagues around you that are, you know, that are not helping out, then, you know, you can easily rise above this. Looking at what's going on in your sort of thing, I think you can definitely rise above this, and because you choose your path. And that's really important for you, Queen Bee. Choose your path as you go forward. And when you do, the moment you choose that pathway and you take that leap of faith, this is great. This is great. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. First card, King of Pentacles. Through knowledge and understanding, so you may have educated yourself, got certificates or done sort of online workshops or whatever in order to do what you want to do. That seems to be important, but it's also going to make you feel a lot more secure about going ahead and doing it. If you need to do something like that, then possibly it'd be a good time for you to do that. And I think this ties into the karmic message on your path, on your financial side. Because if I'm not mistaken, you are sort of like Scorpio. Have I got that right, Queen Bee? I'll have to go back and see. I think you're Scorpio, Queen Bee. So let me have a look. Yes, you are Scorpio. Sorry, I was just having to find out when that was. So you know. You have at the base of your karmic path, and this is what you're supposed to be doing, you get the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. And this is, so basically it's got to sit with you mentally, but also at the same time, it's got to sit with you okay for you to take that path. And I think that's perfectly okay. If you have that confidence of what you know, then just go ahead and do it. The moment you do, that's when you get the Ace of Pentacles. You know, that whole new journey for you. And it is going to be very rewarding, I think, for you. And I think this will put pay to any sort of colleagues that are being sort of a pain in the backside. Have you got any more sort of details of the colleagues? You know, are they blocking you from advancing? Because if the moment you start going after it, Queen Bee, you're going to get, it's almost like going to be like, no, 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 no. Not that you should be like that, and you shouldn't be. I'm not. But at the same time, I think you'll be very happy with your outcome. You know, let me just put a couple of cards on the on your colleagues that you're having problems with. Okay. Okay. So, 10 of Wands. If I'm not mistaken, it seems like, and I might get, you tell me if I'm getting this wrong, I might be getting the wrong end of the stick here, but, see you later, John. Yeah, it could be a case that your colleagues are being very heavy, I'll say heavy, just, you know, very heavy around you at the moment, you know, just being a bit sort of like, you know, just being a bit, and I think they're sort of playing not only on your weaknesses, but also on their weaknesses as well. I think they're exposing their weaknesses a little bit like, you know, hurt people, but then we come back to that. And I think you've got that golden nugget within you, Queen Bee. And if you want to do something, do it. There is the other thing that coming out of that question that I'd like to answer, and that is that whole idea of that whole idea that, you know, when you come to the end of life and you haven't done it, I think that will be a lot more painful than anything that any human can throw at you. And I think you're much stronger, much better than that, really, Queen Bee. You know, don't let people stop you from doing what you should be doing on your karma path. I think that's really, really important. As I was saying earlier on, I think it's really important to be in alignment with yourself more than anything else. Queen Bee. Does that sort of answer your question? I hope so. I think that feeling down thing, because you said you're feeling down, is because I think your co-workers are playing on that sort of like making you feel weak or making you feel bad about yourself in a way. You know, and I think once you engage on your path there, they'll fall off your back like water falls off the back of a duck. Basically, I think more than anything else, for you, Queen Bee. You know, yeah, I think it just rolls off roll off your back, and it'll be. You'll almost be. I think you're almost in the future. You might be looking at them as almost sort of saying, "Poor them, shame for them." You know, what a shame. You know, I think you'll float incredibly. You know, way beyond it. You know, I think it'll go really well for you. Yeah. So any sort of, I think we're going to be wrapping up shortly. I'd like to thank Tanya for helping out. That crazy partner that sort of helps me out on my, well, actually she does way much more than just helps me out. Way much more than helps me out. You know, it's, yeah, thank you very much. It's, you know, the Astroflower doesn't happen without you people, without everybody that's connected to it. It does feel like a bit like a family. It's really nice, you know, and, you know, sometimes between brothers and sisters it's a bit complicated, but generally I think it's good at helping each other out. I think it's a really good sort of beautiful thing. Yeah, thank you, Iris. Absolutely lovely. Did that help you out, by the way, with the questioning and everything like that? I think it's going to work really well for you. I hope it does go well for you on your job front. It should go really well, go really nice for you. Okay. I will be doing I'll be trying to do some lives over the Christmas period, so we've got more time to sort of chat and stuff like that, and maybe go into other things that's more sort of connected with the. To all of those sort of things as well, to do with energies and stuff like that. You know, it's because we have the solution between us all in the beautiful thing. Joseph, thank you very much. Iris, thank you very much. Leslie, thank you very much. Thank you everybody for being there and being part of the family thing. And I thank everybody who couldn't make it, because this time is not necessarily for everybody. You know, and I do, you know, and I thank you for watching this afterwards, as it were, you know. Have a great weekend to all. Love you all dearly. You know, absolutely beautiful. I will see you soon. And, you know, don't forget, whatever you do, don't forget, you know, life should be fun. So, you know, please do enjoy. Okay? And I will see you soon. Ciao for now.
for now.